Hello there guys and welcome to this weekend's action of IFMC IndyCar. I'm JWF1 and we are here at the second of what am I trying to say there? The second of 3 new ovals for this season here at the Talladega Superspeedway in Lincoln, Alabama for round 7 of the season 4-5 IFMC IndyCar series. And if you didn't see what happened last time out at Detroit, the doubleheader, it was very entertaining 2 races. Race 1 was won by Sebastian Bourdais, finally getting points off the board after what had been a disappointing season for him and EMR thus far. And in the second race, Felix Rosenqvist for Red Rose Racing, who in real life has just been signed by Chip Ganassi to partner alongside Scott Dixon, actually took his and Red Rose Racing's first ever victory in IFMC IndyCar, and it was a great achievement indeed. It is looking very close in the Manufacturers' Championship between Chevrolet and Honda, of course. JR Hildebrand still comes into this weekend as the championship leader by a few points ahead of Scott Dixon. I believe it's Dixon who's in second anyway. Anyway, we are here at the Talladega Superspeedway, Brighton Tony conditions. Just one note, of course, Fernando Alonso does have a qualifying ban for the crash he caused with Tony Kanaan last weekend in race 2 of Detroit. So he will start at the back of the pack. So only 21 cars will be taking part in this session. And hopefully it should be a very exciting weekend indeed. So without further ado then, guys, let's get to the qualifying session here at the Talladega Superspeedway. So, here we are then in the pit lane. Alonso's obviously watching from the sidelines, and we're going to go to the end of the pit lane with... Who's at the end of the pit lane? It looks to be Ryan Hunter-Reay, if it looks like it. So we will wait and get this session underway. It is, of course, a 35-minute session, and we wait to see who's going to be the first to get out onto the track. And a note, of course, usually with oval qualifying does traditionally like to finish quite a little bit early, but we'll wait and see if that's going to be the case this weekend as well, as the first man coming out on track is the man who was unfortunate to have the crash with Alonso last weekend. It is Tony Kanaan in the SIC, as he's just going out on the track now then. And so out on the track then goes Tony Kanaan here at Talladega, the first man out on the track as he just goes around the banking now then, as he will soon head in towards the straight very soon. So out on the track then goes Tony Kanaan. Also on the track we have Helio Castroneves for East Midlands Racing, James Hinchcliffe, Marco Andretti, Max Chilton, Ryan Hunter-Reay as well. He's just come out on the track, as is Takumi Sato, Joseph Newgarden, and we also expect Simon Pagenaud, Robert Wickens, Felix Rosenqvist, JR Hildebrand, Will Power to also join these guys in a little bit. As Tony Kanaan now then is about to start his lap, as he just comes down towards the start-finish straight now then, and across the line he will soon go, which is there. Look, you can just about see the line. So Kanaan has just started his lap now then, as he goes up towards the first banking on the track now then, foot to the floor as best as possible. A lot of people have actually requested in real life to have this track come back to IndyCar, because a lot of people have begged for a few more ovals on the IndyCar calendar, and along with COTA, which was a requested one as well, which is finally going to be on the IndyCar calendar in real life. A lot of people have been begging for this track to also make a return as well, the Talladega Superspeedway. So who knows, maybe it could come back one day. Who knows really. But coming around the banking now then goes Tony Kanaan, and he will be setting the benchmark of time for everybody to beat as he now comes down the straight now then, riding in the cockpit now then of Tony Kanaan, as he will soon make his way across the line. And what is the time going to be? And it is a 49.504. So that's the benchmark of time. Here comes Helio Castroneves. He slots to second with that lap, as Will Power behind starts the lap. James Hinchcliffe slots to second himself, as JR Hildebrand also starts the lap. It's P4 for Marco Andretti. As we look at Max Chilton, his teammate currently heading the board at this stage, but let's see what Chilton can manage then on this lap, as Chilton now then crosses the line and goes third fastest for the moment. Here comes Ryan Hunter-Reay, and he goes fastest. Hunter-Reay to the top of the timing sheets. Here comes Takumi Sato, who has taken both pole positions in both ovals this season. Let's see what he can do this time. He goes fourth with that lap, so only P4 for Takumi Sato. As we now look at Joseph Newgarden, who goes seventh fastest with that lap. Robert Wickens in the adrenaline car just goes around the banking before coming across the line, and he goes 8th fastest for the present moment. Here comes Will Power in the Eldorado. Power will cross the line and he goes 6th fastest at this stage. Felix Rosenquist slots to 7th, as it's P4 for championship leader J.R. Hildebrand, 6th place for teammate Simon Pagenaud, and I think that's it in terms of these guys. So at the moment, it is currently Ryan Hunter-Reay that is currently fastest at this stage. We'll try and get to somebody who's in the top 5, and in fact, we'll go to Ryan Hunter-Reay for that. So once Ryan Hunter-Reay goes back to his box, we'll have a look and see what the top 5 consists of, as there is his pit box as he pulls back into the pits. And let's have a quick look then, shall we? And so here we are then. It's Hunter-Reay fastest with Kanaan 2nd, Hinchcliffe 3rd, Hildebrand 4th, and Sato who rounds out the top 5. Here's Simon Pagenaud, the last to do a flying lap out of this group of cars, as he's now coming into the pits himself after completing a flying lap. So into the box he goes. So we wait for another set of cars to come out onto the track, and so that's that really. As so far 13 cars have done a lap at this stage, and it looks like Gabby Chavez is now going to be coming out on the track for Macamo. Macamo has had quite an up and down season, as we said. There have been some highs for the team, but a lot of the time there has been quite a few lows for them. A lot of bad luck for both Pietro Fittipaldi and Gabby Chavez this season, and Chavez comes out on the track, the first of these group of cars to come out. And so here comes Gabby Chavez now. He's just going around the banking, as he'll soon start his lap in a little bit now then, as Chavez will come up towards the next banking on the track, as now going around the banking he goes, as he prepares to start his first flying lap of today. Juan Pablo Montoya out on track as well, as is Ed Jones, Alexander Rossi, Pietro Fittipaldi, Graham Rahal, Scott Dixon, Tony Kanaan, Joseph Newgarden, Helio Castroneves, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Max Chilton and Sebastian Bourdais. They're expected to come out. Let's try and get back to Gabby Chavez if we can, and here he is as he now goes around. I think this is the first banking on the track. Yes, he is. He just started the lap through the first banking. Then goes Gabby Chavez. Foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, as now in towards the next long straight he will go. And we'll soon see in a little bit what Gabby Chavez is able to do on his lap. Sparks coming off the back of the Honda-powered Macamo. Into the second banking we will go. We're now into the second half of the season. It's gone very quickly, the first half has, but we're now into the second half of the season now then. So the next 3 races are all oval races, so starting here at Talladega. The next one, another new oval, which is Chicagoland. Then we're off to Atlanta, and then that will do for the ovals. And the final 2 will be road courses at Watkins Glen and the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. As here comes Gabby Chavez. He goes second fastest with his first flying lap, so getting himself onto the front row at the moment alongside Ryan Hunter-Reay. Joseph Newgarden about to start a lap, as is Helio Castroneves. Here comes Juan Pablo Montoya. And let's see what he can do. Looks like Bourdais is giving him a hard time, unless that's Castroneves, I'm not 100% sure. But he goes 15th, and it was Castroneves there. As it's 14th for Ed Jones, 6th for Alexander Rossi, 11th for Pietro Fittipaldi, as current pole sitter Ryan Hunter-Reay starts another lap. Here comes Graham Rahal, as he's soon going to cross the line, the Honda-powered Martini. Let's see what he's able to produce as he just goes around the banking, and Rahal crosses the line and goes only 15th with that lap. Scott Dixon only 17th for the moment as Chilton starts a lap. Here comes Tony Kanaan in the SIC. What can he produce? And Kanaan stays in 3rd. No improvement for him at this stage of qualifying. Here comes Joseph Newgarden in the Target Andy Graham racing car. Newgarden crossed the line and goes up to 4th. So P4 for Joseph Newgarden. As now here comes Helio Castroneves. I wouldn't be surprised if Montoya impeded him on his lap, but in fact he didn't do anything because Castroneves goes fastest. Castroneves goes to the top of the timing sheets in the East Midlands racing car. Good time for him. Here comes Ryan Hunter-Reay. Can he get back to the top? No, he can't. Remains 2nd with that lap. Sebastian Bourdais slots to 4, so P4 for Sebastian. Both East Midlands racing cars currently occupying the top 4 positions, as the 1st and 4th at the moment. Here comes Max Chilton down in 12th. Can he get the car back into the top 10? Across the line, and not quite. He goes up to 11th, but not quite into the top 10 so far in this session. As we wait for another set of cars to come out. So at the moment, it is currently Castroneves that is fastest, with Ryan Hunter-Reay 2nd, and rounding off the top 3 is Gabby Chavez, I believe. So that is what the top 3 currently looks like at this stage of qualifying. as they qualify for tomorrow's race here at the Talladega Superspeedway here in Lincoln, Alabama. The second race would have been to Alabama. The first time we went to the state of Alabama was the first race, in fact, at the Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama, where Alexander Rossi took the victory. But Rossi has not been able to continue that sort of pace he had at the start of the season, and it's just been kind of up and down in terms of pace this season, it must be said. On occasions, possibly, especially on the ovals, he seems to be outpaced a lot by teammate Takuma Sato. So that's that really at this stage. Robert Wickens now then, in fact a few cars have gone out at this stage, including Rosenquist, Sato, Hinchcliffe and now Wickens coming out, as Rosenquist in fact in the Red Rose Racing car, the man that took his and Red Rose Racing's first ever IFMC IndyCar win last weekend at race 2 in Detroit, is now about to start his lap as he will soon approach the first banking on the track. Rosenquist looking to continue that momentum if he can here on the ovals, and in real life, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, he's been announced to be a Chip Ganassi driver alongside Scott Dixon in the number 10 car next season, so congratulations to the Swede on that. It will mean he's not going to be in Formula E next season, so Mahindra in Formula E looking for a brand new lineup, as Nick Heifeld, who is Rosenquist's teammate for 2 seasons, is also leaving the team. So Mahindra, as mentioned, looking for a brand new lineup. Be very interesting to see who they'll fill their seats with in Formula E. So now we look at Felix Rosenquist now then, he's just going around the final banking, heading down towards the pit straight, and Rosenquist now then is going to cross the line. Can he improve on his 15th position? The Swede crosses the line, and he does, but only up to 14th, only going 5 thousandths quicker than his personal best that sector alone. As now we look at Takuma Sato in the Fantari racing car. So far currently 10th. Can he find some improvement? Maybe challenge for pole like he did at Texas and at Phoenix. Across the line goes Sato. He doesn't improve, remains in 10th with that lap. Will Power about to start a lap himself. Here comes James Hinchcliffe in the Martini. What can the mayor of Hinchtown do? Hinchcliffe crosses the line and goes up to 5th. So a big improvement there. Hinchcliffe getting himself into the top 5 with that lap. Here comes Robert Wickens, who's up on his personal best in the middle sector. Let's see what the adrenaline car can do. So Wickens across the line, he will now go, and he goes up to 7th. A really big improvement. Robert Wickens up into 7th place in the adrenaline car as Ray Hall starts a lap. As here is Pietro Fittipaldi also about to start a lap. Scott Dixon across the line and goes up to 6th. A big improvement for him. That's P6 for the Kiwi, and this season's IndyCar champion in real life, the 2018 IndyCar champion, a 5-time champion now, as Pagano goes up to 2nd. A really big improvement. Clearly used Jones for Slipstream gets up into 2nd. Only 19th for Marco Andretti, way off the pace of teammate Robert Wickens at the moment. As I was just saying there, Scott Dixon now a 5-time IndyCar champion. Congratulations to him recently at Sonoma. It's 9th for Will Power, 18th for Juan Pablo Montoya. He's struggling at this stage, is Montoya, despite the big improvement he just showed there, as Wickens is coming back into the pits. Graham Rahal on an improvement, but only by 35 thousandths. He's improving by on his personal best, but let's see if that's going to move him up a few places. As Rahal now then across the line, he will now go. And where's he going to place himself? He only goes up to 16th, so getting 3 places, but still off the pace of teammate James Hinchcliffe. Up into 16th goes Pietro Fittipaldi, still off the pace of teammate Gabby Chavez, though, at this stage. Up into 10th goes Ed Jones, so he gets himself into the top 10, pushes Sato down to 11th position at the moment in qualifying. In fact, I think Sato might have got pushed down a little bit more because there were a few more cars doing improvements, I think, after Sato to get themselves into the top 10, so I might be wrong on that instance. But we'll have a quick look at the top 5 once Gabby Chavez comes into the pits very soon, as Chavez is currently in 4th place at the moment. He's doing a good job in this session for Macamo, outpacing teammate Pietro Fittipaldi, who's down in 16th place at the moment. As now Chavez will now go around the next banking on the track and will soon come back into the pits, as now he just goes around the banking on the track, as we have just over 22 minutes of this qualifying session to go to determine the grid for tomorrow's race here at the Talladega Superspeedway in Lincoln, Alabama. As now into the pit lane we go, and we'll quickly have a look and see what the top 5 consists of, as it looks like somebody else has just gone out of the track. It looks like an EMR car has just exited the pit lane there. Not quite sure which one it is. We'll have a look in a little bit, as it seems that there's another car in front of him at the moment that's also going out on the track. It's Cashno's fastest, with Pagano second, Hunter-Reay third, Chavez fourth, and Bourdais rounds off the top 5. So that's how that looks at the moment, as the guys out on track at the moment are Alexander Rossi, in fact, who's just on a lap. He's actually gone 12 thousandths up on his personal best in the first sector there, as you just saw there on his steering wheel. So Rossi's on a lap, as are a few others. I think one of them might have been his teammate as well, Takuma Sato, and I think Helio Castroneves, I think I just saw there, the compulsator has gone back out onto the track. But coming around the final banking then goes Alexander Rossi, as he's about to finish a lap, and let's see what Rossi can do. He's currently down in 14th, but let's see if the American can find some time to improve. Rossi across the line and goes up only up to 13th, so only getting a place with that time, as Kanaan is about to start a lap, as is Pagano. So we try and have a look and see who else is out there. We look at JR Hildebrand, who's currently on a fast time at the moment. Hildebrand just going around the banking himself, and let's see what Pagano is able to do on this lap. Or is it Hildebrand? It's Hildebrand, I do apologise. Hildebrand now then coming across the line, and the championship leader, can he improve upon his 14th position? And no, he can't. Remains 14th with that lap. James Hinchcliffe coming out on the track, as Rossi's going back in on this instance. Here's Tony Kanaan in the SIC, just going around the final banking. Let's see what the Brazilian veteran can do in the Malaysian team SIC. And Kanaan now then will soon power across the line, and let's see what he's able to do. He does not improve and remains in 8th position. His teammate Max Chilton starts the lap, still second for Simon Pagano. Here comes Sebastian Bourdais. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains 5th for the moment. Here is Joseph Newgarden. Can he improve on 12th? Across the line, and he can, but only up into 11th, so still outside the top 10. Castroneves doesn't improve, remains on a 49.1. 8-1 at this stage. Still third for Ryan Hunter-Reay. Still can't get back on the front row at the moment, which is currently being occupied by Castroneves and Pagano. Here is Felix Rosenquist in the Red Rose Racing car. Just under 20 minutes left in this session. Rosenquist crosses the line, goes up to 13th, so gains 6 places for the moment. So a big improvement there for Rosenquist, but still not within the top 10 at the moment. Here comes Takuma Sato. Can he improve on 16th? No, he can't. Remains 16th for the moment. Clearly struggling around this particular oval, rather than the 2 ovals we've been at the moment, which is ISM Raceway and the Texas Motor Speedway. Up into 12th place goes Max Chilton, so a big improvement for him. That's P12 for the Brit, as we now look at Will Power, who's down on his personal best in the second sector, and Power currently 9th, so just within the top 10 at this stage. Let's see what Power can do then on this lap, as Power now then will come across the line. Last season's runner-up. Is this going to be an improvement in the final sector? No, it isn't. Remains 9th at this stage of qualifying. James Hinchcliffe crosses the line, still 6th for the moment, as now we'll try and find some more cars or somebody else who's on a lap, and it doesn't look like there's anybody else. Robert Wickens has gone back out on the track to do another lap, so we'll go to Robert Wickens, who's actually just about to start one, as we were just talking about him there then. Just going around this little banking now. Sorry, little banking. Around the banking he goes. I don't know if this is the final corner or the pit straight. In fact, it is the final banking now then, before he will go towards the start finish line, which is also banked. And Wickens now then about to start his lap. He'll be opening that piece of traffic that's also just coming out of the pit lane, which is Scott Dixon. Doesn't impede him, and very lucky in that instance. I don't know if Wickens there had to take a little bit of a wider line through that banking there just to try and avoid Dixon, but either way, no major problems at this stage as he just goes around the banking. So one of the Macamo cars has gone out on the track that looks to be Gabby Chavez that's in front. I think he's got a few more stripes on his helmet than what his teammate Pietro Fittipaldi has. As now up towards the next banking then we go. Robert Wickens will finish his lap very soon now then. And very soon he's now going to cross the line, as he will go down the straight now then. Robert Wickens is about to cross the line. And Wickens now then, let's see what he's able to do. And across the line, and he goes up to 10th. So Robert Wickens now then into the top 10. Wickens with a big improvement that time by Dixon behind him. Starts a lap, a few more cars still going out on the track. And I think that was Pietro Fittipaldi, in fact, because Chavez is only just coming out the pit. So apologies there. As now we look at Marco Andretti, who is just going around the final banking, down in 21st at the minute, so effectively last because of Alonso's qualifying ban. But let's see what Andretti can do then on this lap as the sparks continue to fly out the back of the adrenaline. And heading down the straight, and Andretti is now going to cross the line. And let's see what the grandson of 1978 Formula 1 World Champion Mario Andretti can do. And he only goes up to 20th that time by, so only getting a place that for the moment. Rossi behind him starts the lap. Pietro Fittipaldi, also a grandson to a former world champion, goes up to 4th. A big improvement there, Len. So up to 4th place goes Pietro Fittipaldi, now outpacing teammate Gabby Chavez. As still in 8th is Scott Dixon, no improvement for the Kiwi. As Chavez about to start a lap, here comes Graham Rahal in the Martini. Around the banking he goes. And Rahal across the line now then. Let's see what he's able to do. And he remains in 19th for the moment. Juan Pablo Montoya stays 21st, effectively last because of Fernando Alonso's qualifying ban. As now we look at Rossi, who's down on his personal best in the second sector. I wonder if Marco Andretti in front of him had a part to play in that. Rossi now then will soon come across the line, and the Chevy-powered Fantari remains 16th. No improvement for him at the moment, as third place man Ryan Hunter-Reay is now going out on the racetrack. As coming across the line goes defending champion Sebastian Bourdais, remains 6th for the moment. Ed Jones remains 12th at this stage of qualifying, so no improvements for those two for the moment. As we look at Joseph Newgarden, who's on a lap just going around the banking himself. And let's see what the target Andy Graham car can do. As sparks continue to fly at the back of his car now, then heading down towards the start-finish straight. And Newgarden now then is going to come across the line. And let's see what he's able to do. And he goes up to 8th for that lap. A big improvement for Newgarden on his final flying lap. Newgarden goes up into 8th place. So on his final flying lap, that is what he is able to do. So there is a chance. So it does look like we're going to be finishing early, but a little bit later than what Texas was. Here is current pole sitter Helio Castroneves on his final flying lap. Can he improve on his current pole time? And no, he can't. Remains on the 49.181 on his final flying lap. Just hoping that's enough for him to get pole position here at the Talladega Superspeedway. J.R. Hildebrand, the championship leader, crosses the line and improves, but remains in 17th. So not a good qualifying session so far for the championship leader at this stage of qualifying. So now Hildebrand going back in this lap. Here is Ryan Hunter-Reay on a flying lap in the e-power car. Just going around the first banking he goes, trying to get it, probably not getting as close to the wall, but he may have to think about that possibly during the race if he's trying to battle with someone. But anyway, coming up down then towards the second banking we will soon go. And so now around this banking then goes Ryan Hunter-Reay. And let's see if he can improve. So far, Castroneves currently on pole for East Midlands Racing. But let's see if Ryan Hunter-Reay can try and beat that in the e-power car. He's currently 3rd. He could provide a bit of a threat to Castroneves. Let's see. Hunter-Reay now then is going to cross the line. And he doesn't improve. Remains 3rd for the moment. And in fact, that was his final flying lap. So he can't even do another lap after that. So that was that really, as Chilton's getting really held up by Takuma Sato. He's still up though on his personal best in the first sector, so clearly Sato giving Chilton a bit of a helping hand there on his final flying lap. So Chilton gets by there. Sato thought about having a go, but thought better of it. We ride on board with Chilton now. Then he just goes around the second banking, and then he will soon come across the line in a little bit. So Max Chilton now then is going to come across the line. And in fact, Sato's back on the inside of him there, so that might compromise Chilton's final flying lap. He had to lift off a bit, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't improve as a result. And Chilton crosses the line, and he does improve, in fact, to go up to 3rd. So Sato did help him out there. So up into 3rd place goes Chilton, pushes Hunter-Reay down to 4th position. So a really good qualifying time there from Max Chilton. Clear the slipstream, helping out the Brit at this stage. Could be slipstream galore tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. Felix Rosenqvist now then heading down the straight, and well, soon going to be heading down the straight as he just goes around the second banking now then. And Rosenqvist about to finish off his final flying lap in the middle in a little bit, as he now comes down the straight. Behind him is one of the Silicon Valley racing cars. Can't quite tell which one that is. Is Rosenqvist now then is going to cross the line, and can Rosenqvist improve? And no, he can't. He remains 15th for the moment. It's still second for Simon Pagenaud, so he still remains on the front row, still unable to beat Helio Castroneves at this stage. So only up in still 11th then for Tony Kanaan, off the pace for Max Chilton. It's up into 4th goes Takuma Sato, so a big improvement for him. Possibly losing Chilton as a bit of a helping hand. So Sato up into 4th position as Fittipaldi starts another lap. It's only good enough for 13th for Will Power. No improvement for the Aussie. As now we look at Robert Wickens in the adrenaline car. Can the Canadian improve? The very popular Canadian. And Wickens does not improve. Remains 14th with that lap. As now, let's have a look and see now. Then here comes James Hinchcliffe, who's down his personal best in the middle sector. 700 off. He's down in 9th. Let's see if the Martini pulls it back in the last sector if he can. And Hinchcliffe, across the line he goes, and he can't. Remains 9th for the moment on his final flying lap. Pietro Fittipaldi about to start one in a little bit. Marco Andretti on his final flying lap, all the way down in 20th. Can he still find some time to improve though? Let's see. Round the banking goes Marco Andretti as he now heads down towards the start finish line now then. Can Marco Andretti improve on his lap? Across the line comes Marco, and can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Remains 20th, so a lot of work to do for Marco Andretti tomorrow, it must be said, as Scott Dixon across the line he goes, and he remains 11th. No improvement for the Kiwi. As here comes Graham Rahal. Let's see what he's able to do. And he goes up to 14th. A big improvement for him there. Graham Rahal up into 14th place. He goes. As we now look at Pietro Fittipaldi in the Macamo car. And Fittipaldi is going to come across the line now then. Can he improve upon his 6th place? And no, he can't. Remains 6th with that lap. 1/10 off his personal best in the final sector there then. As Jones starts his final flying lap himself. As we will possibly go to Jones. In fact, here is Jones, and he'll be hoping that the car in front, Gabby Chavez, does not hold him up. As he comes right behind him. He could use him as a bit of a tow to help him out. So clearly, as we've touched upon, it's clearly slipstream galore around this track. As looked like he had a touch of oversteer there, did Ed Jones. So that's already wrecked his lap as a result. But here we go then, up towards the banking. He's going to look to the inside, clearly grabbing Chavez's slipstream, and gets past him round the final banking. And Chavez could even use him as a helping hand if he can. So we have just over 10 minutes of the qualifying session remaining, but that should probably be irrelevant anyway, because it looks like these guys will finish quite early. As now, here comes Ed Jones now then, about to finish his lap. And can he improve? Did Chavez give him a helping hand? And no, he didn't. The oversteer clearly costing him, and it's only 16th for Ed Jones at this stage of qualifying. So now we look at Chavez. Then is our lap, possibly using Jones as a little bit of a helping hand now then. So he tries to tuck in his slipstream now then. His teammate Pietro Fittipaldi currently outpacing him at the moment. But can Chavez find that pace he had at the beginning to try and outpace him for the grid tomorrow? And Chavez now then up towards the second banking he goes on the racetrack. And Chavez now then will come across the line a little bit once he comes out of this final banking, and then come up towards the mini banking before going across the start finish line. Jones in front of him goes back into the pits. He's finished for the day. He's run out of laps to complete. Here comes Gabby Chavez as he will now cross the line. And is this an improvement? And it isn't. He remains 7th with that lap, outpaced by 1 place from teammate Pietro Fittipaldi. As up into 9th goes J.R. Hildebrand, so the championship leader with a big improvement to go up into 9th place. So Hildebrand up into 9th. Only good enough for 18th for Montoya, despite the improvement he just showed. Here is Sebastian Bourdais, the defending champion, currently 8th. His teammate currently on pole, Helio Castroneves. Let's see if Bourdais can find some improvement in the car. The man who finally got points on the board last weekend in Detroit, started to get his foot. So to finish an oval race this season, but could that change this weekend? There's now Bourdais is going to cross the line, and he remains 8th. No improvement for the defending champion, as it's only good enough for 18th for Alexander Rossi. An improvement for him, but only 18th for him. A lot of what to do for the American tomorrow. And I think that is actually going to do it. I think everybody has finished off their laps. And as a result then, it is Helio Castroneves who has taken pole position for tomorrow's race here at the Talladega Superspeedway in Lincoln, Alabama. So EMR get their first pole of the season after what has been a tricky season for the team in IFMC IndyCar so far, and especially for both Castroneves and Bourdais as well. So Rossi now then goes into the pits. So into the pits now then he goes, as they'll pull off for the rest of the day. Of course, Alonso not competing in this session because of course he does have the qualifying ban, so he's obviously going to be starting in last tomorrow anyway. It's going back into his box, then goes Alexander Rossi. So he just pulls into the pits then. So Rossi, and I think that's going to do it. We'll just check anyway and look at if we just go back to Fernando Alonso's cockpit, which we do. So what we're going to do is we're going to accelerate the time, and it should eventually finish 2, 1, 0. There you go, and there you have it then. That is the end of qualifying, and as mentioned, it is Helio Castroneves by a big gap who has taken pole position here at the Talladega Superspeedway. So there you have it then, guys. After all of that, here is the grid for tomorrow's race then. It's Helio Castroneves on pole position by 2/10 ahead of Simon Pagenaud in second, Max Chilton third, Takuma Sato fourth, Ryan Hunter-Reay fifth, Pietro Fittipaldi sixth, Gabby Chavez in seventh, with Sebastian Bourdais in eighth, J.R. Hildebrand ninth, James Hinchcliffe in 10th, followed by Joseph Newgarden 11th, Scott Dixon 12th, Tony Kanaan 13th, Will Power in 14th position. And if we scroll down the rest of the field, it is Graham Rahal 15th, Robert Wickens 16th, Ed Jones 17th, Alexander Rossi in 18th, Juan Pablo Montoya 19th, Felix Rosenquist 20th, Marco Andretti in 21st, and due to his qualifying ban, Fernando Alonso is in 22nd and last. So there you have it then, guys. That is the grid for tomorrow's race here at Talladega. It is looking to be a very exciting race tomorrow, and hopefully you will tune in tomorrow to watch it with us. But there you have it then, guys. That has been it. I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you then, guys, tomorrow at the same time at 2:30 p.m. BST, due to the fact that the Formula 1 Russian Grand Prix is on at 10 past 12 tomorrow for some bizarre reason. So we'll be on tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. BST, and we'll be back tomorrow then at 2:30 p.m. BST for the race here at Talladega. I'm just trying to see how many laps it is before we head off, and it is 200 laps of action. So come to us at 200 laps of action tomorrow here at Talladega. So hopefully an exciting 200 laps coming your way. But that has been it then, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. I'm in JWF1, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the 200 lap race here at the Talladega Superspeedway. Till then, take care.